proactive are you about safety? Safety involves protecting your brain and body from harm insofar as it is possible to do so, which includes the prevention and control of recognized hazards. Safety includes paying attention to research strategies related to health and longevity. You can replace your teeth, the lens in your eye, some of your joints, a liver, a kidney, a lung, or even a heart, but you only have one brain. No equivalent replacements exist. Humans take calculated risks every day. I do whenever I drive my car or step into a plane or stand up to speak. You can't prevent everything, but you can often achieve an acceptable level of risk. In a nutshell, your level of health and lifespan are impacted by genetics and epigenetics. Genetics being the stuff you inherited from your biological parents, estimated to contribute about 30%, and epigenetics is everything that is not genetics, including lifestyle, estimated to contribute about 70%. Your wellness and longevity are also impacted by the health and functionality of both your brain and your immune system. Together, they constitute the most effective healing system on planet Earth. And if either fails, you can be in big trouble. According to Dr. Neil Nedley, and I quote, "Your singular duty to the immune system is to develop a lifestyle that will support its consistent defense work on your behalf. How you live day by day determines whether your immune system works at peak levels or is inhibited by neglect and even abuse." End quote. Do you know what your immune system is designed to do? It has 4 main functions. 1, to recognize who you are and what is supposed to be part of you. That's one of the challenges with organ transplantation. Your immune system knows that the replacement organ is not part of you, so wants to get rid of it. 2, to destroy foreign invaders and to create antibodies against them in case they show up again. Your immune system is capable of creating and storing masters for something like 10 million invaders. That's a pretty sophisticated early warning system. 3, to monitor for and delete abnormal cells, including mutations, that can form tumors or cause other forms of biological havoc. Quite an efficient form of biological warfare. And 4, to keep things clean and tidy by disposing of waste products and other unwanted detritus. Do you know the organs and parts that comprise your immune system? Here's a brief summary. Do you still have all the components? 500 to 700 lymph nodes, give or take a few. They are filters designed to provide an early warning system of infection by becoming warm and swollen and often quite painful. Think of the spleen as a huge lymph node that filters the blood, removing old red blood cells and recycling the hemoglobin. It also has storage compartments for extra blood in case you have a bad nosebleed or cut yourself or are in a traumatic vehicle accident. The immune system contains millions of natural killer cells, T cells and B cells, that function as hand-to-hand combat fighters. Scanning modalities have seen these cells buddy up to an unwanted invader or a mutated cell, shove in a chemical charge, and then back off watching while it explodes. There are also millions of white blood cells, or lymphocytes, that help fight infections. On average, about 7,000 per microliter of blood. A microliter is 1/1,000,000th of a liter. Its volume is said to be equivalent of a cube that measures 1 millimeter by 1 millimeter by 1 millimeter. No wonder scientists need powerful electronic microscopes. Then there are approximately 120,000 miles, or nearly 193,000 kilometers of lymph vessels, more than twice the number that comprise the blood circulation system with its arteries, veins, and capillaries. The muscleless lymph vessels transport lymph fluid and lymphocytes. They depend on the movement of large muscle groups to help move the fluid along. That's why exercise is so important. The job of tonsils and adenoids is to trap harmful organisms as they enter through your nose and mouth. Much like quality control on an assembly line, the appendix samples what passes through the intestines, looking for anything that should not be there. Peyer's patches in the abdomen can replicate some functions of the appendix, which is a good thing in case you have had to have yours removed. The red bone marrow generates something like 500 billion new cells per day to replace those that are worn out. The thymus, often called the master gland, is located right behind your sternum or breastbone. Some recommend gently thumping it each morning, gently, to stimulate it and let it know you know it's there. I often talk to mine and say, Arlene, your thymus gland is happy and working well, keeping you healthy. Okay, admittedly, I usually do this well out of earshot of others who already think my brain is on loan from some other solar system. Your immune system is quite state-of-the-art. Do you know what suppresses its ability to function? Dehydration, sleep deprivation, lack of physical and mental exercises, low emotional intelligence, poor quality nutrition, head injuries, broken bones, sexually transmitted diseases, deleterious addictive behaviors, and uncalculated risk-taking. You do realize that in many aspects, safety is simply about taking good care of your brain and body and its amazing prevention systems. Safety requires making informed decisions about health and self-care and choosing carefully the behaviors you choose to exhibit. A researcher once told me that what you do today, impacts your immune system positively or negatively in about 12 months. That's because it typically takes a long time for the immune system to fail, and it takes a long time for it to recover. Perhaps a month for every year it has been neglected or abused. Research has identified many safety prevention strategies. They include all the 14 components of a longevity lifestyle. During the years I was a school nurse from K through 12, these are some of the safety tips I shared with the students. Make water your beverage of choice. Obtain an optimum amount of sleep. Wash your hands often and keep them away from your face. Stop sharing drinking glasses or utensils and keep everything else but your toothbrush out of your mouth. Use toilet seat covers in public restrooms and open the doors using a paper towel. I am constantly amazed at the number of people who leave the toilet stalls without washing their hands. Avoid sick people whenever possible. Instead, send a text, make a phone call, and if you get sick, sneeze and cough into your own elbow. Sugar is a brain toxin. The immune system doesn't much like it either, because it seriously handicaps the fighting capability of natural killer cells. Avoid beverages that contain added sugar, as well as fruit juices. Eat the fruit instead. And avoid refined processed foods that contain sugar. Think ahead. Evaluate the risk-benefit ratio for any given activity. Some less well-informed daredevil may be willing to take a chance on losing life and limb, but that doesn't mean you need to follow suit. The bottom line, prevention strategies are by far your best bet. They tend to beat cure every time. They also tend to pay exponentially high dividends in terms of wellness and longevity. This is the information age. And yet people are dying right, left, and center all over the planet from conditions that are largely preventable. Bruce H. Lipton, PhD, arguably the foremost living authority on epigenetics, which includes everything that's not genetics, has said, and I quote, "Your perspective is always limited by how much you know. Expand your knowledge and you will transform your mind." End quote. If you don't know how to take care of your brain and immune system, study. Expand your knowledge and practically apply it on a daily basis. Valuable resources are available to help you. You'll be glad you did. So will everyone who knows and loves you. Confucius reportedly said, and I quote, "It's not that I don't know what to do. It's that I don't do what I know." End quote. Unfortunately, that seems to be the theme song for many. Did you know that when you do something for the first time, your brain prepares an outline of new software, just in case you want to do it again? That's the good news. It means practice makes specific skills easier to perform. The bad news is that the brain can end up developing some pretty deleterious and life-shortening habits because you did something once. So think carefully before you do something once. Renowned physician Dr. Albert Schweitzer reportedly said, quote, "Each patient carries his own doctor inside him. We are at our best when we give the doctor who resides within a chance to go to work." End quote. How do you do that? By implementing safety strategies as part of your longevity lifestyle. One thing I've learned, the more mental work I do and the less physical exercise I get, the more sleep I need. Think ahead. Prevent what can be prevented. Manage more effectively what was not or could not be prevented. Weigh your options and be thoughtful about taking calculated risks. If you have not been proactive about safety, start now. Safety matters.